Today I wanted to have a bit of a quick conversation just around community engagement and what we truly mean by what that is and how we do that here at the Impact Collective. Recently I had the privilege of being able to speak at the Aotearoa Summit on SDGs and was able to have a conversation around community engagement and what that actually means. As we start looking at the government priorities and the focus areas at the moment, especially once we start seeing the things like the Paiora Healthy Futures Act 2022 and also the Public Services Act of 2020, we start seeing this definition of community engagement and what the expectation from government actually is. What it's essentially trying to ensure is that the community has a voice back in what services are designed by and for them. So what we're starting to do here at the Impact Collective is making sure that the community has sufficient community level intelligence to make sure that their voices are truly heard. They're able to go along and demonstrate this through the stats and the community narrative through their lived experiences. One of the things that we hear quite often is this notion of community engagement and what it truly means. What we've been able to articulate is it's not just the bringing together of organisations. All too often when we speak about community engagement, it's a survey participation, or it's a number of community agencies, NGOs and government and Crown agencies alongside iwi that come to the table. The question therefore begs is, where is the community? Or are we just setting about and understanding an organisational hui, an inter-agency hui nonetheless? What we need to start making sure is as we look around the room, that the community is well represented there. We have an intrinsic nature that we can go along and work alongside other agencies, and often we go along and we have people that are sitting there that are representing groups. We do need to be careful, however, that those people are representing their own perspective of a matter, and the true lived experience is up to the individual to be able to go along and articulate. So we ensure that each voice is able to be heard and is reflected in our reports through verbatim analysis. It's really important that we go along and understand what it is that our communities are feeling, what it is for them to live through particular experiences and or services. One of the things that we've seen and have heard a lot throughout our reporting is this notion that a lot of agencies have gone along and are doing things to them, are doing services to communities rather than with them. We don't want to be riding in on white horses and delivering services that they've never asked for or never been involved in. It is a recipe for disaster if we're doing this with our communities. In terms of equitable and welfare services, including in how our community services are developed, we need to ensure that our community are at the table, that they are reflected, that they are able to hear their voices in whatever services are being developed. We also need to go along and have an understanding of what that service need is. So here at the Impact Collective, we've taken the opportunity to work with the communities to create community level intelligence in terms of our equity and wellbeing profiles. These are free for anybody to go along and have a look at. It also ensures that the community have access to quality data and narratives that they can go along and utilise in terms of supporting funding applications, in terms of working with other agencies to develop services in their communities and for their communities.